Good morning. So we're now in Taurus season as of the 19th. So it's been a couple of days, well it will have been, and yeah, we're moving towards more, for this whole season, which is this month or so, we're trying to move towards stability. And it's very earthy, the Taurus energy. It can be quite a stubborn energy, because the mode is fixed, and it's that stubbornness or the fixedness that can help us see things through, instead of perhaps the cardinal energy of Aries that the sun's been in. Is great at starting things and initiating things, but when you move past that, you've got to then actually ground that energy in and make it stable, which is what Taurus does. So Taurus is an independent sign, whether that be in your sun sign in your natal chart. If you have a Taurus moon, it's more about what you need and your instincts. So you would need your independence. If it's in the sun, if the sun is in Taurus rather, then you'd be expressing yourself and identifying yourself as an independent person. So that would be important to you. Stability is important, routines are important when we look at, when we spotlight Taurus, which is being illuminated right now for this next month. So the sun is now in Taurus at 1 degrees. It's gone through its critical degree point of 0 degrees, and it will continue round to reach the critical point of 29 degrees. And then it will move on to Gemini, the next sign, which would be air. So we've gone into the fire of the Aries energy, and the initiation points, which are still kind of happening. It's not over yet because we've got quite a few planets making their way from the water signs into the fire signs of Aries, of initiation points globally, because the 0 degrees point in Aries is a global point for everybody. It's what we call in mundane astrology the everyday astrology. So it's a process that's happening, but we are now being guided by the sun to shine a light onto those areas of our lives that we would like to create more stability from the ideas and downloads we're getting, especially with the things that are happening with Northnode in Pisces, which is a little bit contradictory because Pisces is very much about endings, and then the Northnode is about going forward. So it's like, okay, so the translation of that is, what are we actually going to be focusing on that we want to take forward to the next energy of Aries and then Taurus, etc., because it's an evolution of energies as we go through the zodiac wheel. Aries is always the starting point, and then Pisces is always the ending point. They sit side by side to each other, and they are extremely different to one another. One is perhaps overgiving to some extent. It can be associated with martyrdom, full of compassion, a bit dreamy, a bit difficult to commit to things. It can be wonderfully magical and a great place to just rest in that sense of nothingness. So as with all signs, there's positive and there's positives, and there's things that we can work on. And as we're travelling through at the moment, although Taurus is in the sun, the sign of the sun is in Taurus, I can feel a sneeze coming on, we are still progressing through ending of cycles, especially with the North Node in Pisces. The South Node is in Virgo, of course. So just a reminder of where we're at. So this is going to be going on until next year, and we're going to be progressively moving forwards through the North Node of Pisces, where we're choosing the things that we want to keep. We're moving forwards to more compassion in our lives. We're letting go of criticism, self-criticism. We are taking our head above the paperwork and details for a little bit and actually focusing on something higher, something that has got more satisfaction in, and that can give us a break. So we're looking for self-compassion right now, at the same time as moving energies, really larger energies that we might not notice necessarily daily, but are changing through to the Aries signs. Obviously the sun we would notice, and Mercury, the planet of communication, has been in retrograde, and you know, it got moved forwards now. All the planets are direct now, and that's quite nice because it feels like you can perhaps create a bit more forward motion. But as I've said, and I keep on saying, and will keep on saying, that this whole year is step forward, step back. A few steps forwards, actually no, step back, because we're moving into new energies. We're not quite sure what we want to bring with us. Taurus is playing into that now, because Taurus is about what we value, what we put worth into, and we really want to build that for ourselves now. And this massive orchestra of energies, they're all heading us in the direction of the of letting go of things that don't serve us anymore. And that's always the case. It's always a case. Letting go, bring in, like the waves of an ocean, like bringing things in and washing them out, and leaving what we don't really need to take forward and deeper into ourselves gets washed ashore. And it can feel quite like we are at sea when we're going through these sorts of energies, especially when there's lots of fire and water together, because they are very energetic energies. They're very emotional energies. The fire has a lot of frustration in it sometimes if we can't go quickly in the direction that we want to go in. Pisces is very slow, and it's very ebbing, because it's the ruler of it's ruled by Neptune, and Neptune has moved signs, so it's not in Pisces anymore, and that was massive because it's a 165-ish year cycle, as I've said in previous videos. And I'm always going to be bringing in these repetitive stories, and to some extent, because they are the wider picture of it all. And, you know, as the energies come in and ebb and flow, we're going to be taking some of those old energies with us. As they dissolve out, the energies start, and the picture changes. The narrative starts to develop as we move forwards. So we are definitely now evolving into the faster, quicker energies. That's happening now, and it's just going to get faster, because the outer planets, which are the more about the wider energies of the global energies, even the outer planets are not the personal planets in our daily life, but we will notice changes. But they take longer to develop. So, I mean, it takes Neptune about 14 years-ish to go through a sign. That's how long it's taken to go through the sign of Pisces, its own sign. And that's a big cycle. It's a big cycle, and it doesn't happen quickly. It's always quite slow. So even though Neptune's changed into Aries, you might have noticed something shifting, but it's like a hint of what's to come. And then by the time it's finished its cycle, I say cycle, by the time it's finished its transit through Aries, in whichever house that is in your natal chart, could be 2 houses, and the houses are the subject matter, or the area in which it's the area in which that subject matter plays out. Get my thoughts back. So yeah, so the wider energies are all changing. The planets are changing over. So this year and next year, it's all about endings, really. It's about endings in order for new beginnings to come. When Neptune is changed into the sign of Aries, it's dissolving. It might be dissolving some things that the fighter is more of a spiritual warrior, really. And I'm really excited actually about this energy, because it's time to see behind the curtain more. And I really feel it. I'm really feeling that. I'm feeling the energies shifting, feeling the pace picking up. I'm feeling that people can share their gifts that perhaps they haven't been able to in the past because it wouldn't have been seen as needed, or yeah, we are the healers now. That, you know, we're healing. We're all healers as far as I'm concerned. We all need to be helping each other in whatever way that is. You know, I need healing in lots of ways, and I'm working through that, and I'm sure, and everybody needs healing. Like, that's just how it is, right? What some of the things I struggle with are, I've got Chiron in an earth sign, so, and I need help with practical stuff sometimes. That's a wound, not quite knowing what to do with some practical things. So you can be a healer in so many different ways. It's not just the obvious things. So as far as I'm concerned, we can all be what the buzzword light workers, okay? So that's a whole other topic, I guess. But I just wanted to pop on just to say welcome to the Taurus season. Enjoy the slower pace, a little bit slower pace, even though I know the pace is overall is picking up. But Taurus gives us a little bit of a breather as we go into the earth, and starts to sort of highlight where we want to create stability and self-worth. And, you know, stepping into the beauty of the world and appreciating the 5 senses that we have. And it's very, very earthy, as I say. It's above the ground, and it's an appreciation of what's here and now. It's very present energy. So it's the opposite of the Scorpio energy, where the energy is much more unseen and we have to dig to get some answers. Well, this is more, how am I going to feel stable and at peace? It's ruled by Venus, and Venus is the planet of love, isn't it? It's the planet of money as well. So we might be thinking about how to create some financial stability in our lives. What are we appreciated for? What do we appreciate? Gratitude. What are we grateful for? How would we like to immerse ourselves deeper into that sense of stability and nature? So I'll be talking more about some of the other planets. As I say, they've all gone direct now. The Northnode is now at 26 degrees of Pisces. It's working its way round. Saturn is still in Pisces. That's the last of the what would you call it, lineup, if you like, of the some of the larger energies moving into new beginnings. So Saturn is still there, and Saturn is actually conjunct at the moment the Northnode. So we're looking seriously at things that we want, but we don't want to spend our time on. What's worthy of our time? What is worthy of our time? And that's a big one. We can't take everything with us. We've got to distill things down now. This is about looking at what's worthy of our time. What do we want to bring in that is going to give us that solidity in our lives and move things on? There's been lots of shake-ups. There's been lots of habits of things, routines that we've been forced to break, perhaps, in order to build something new. That's hard to let go of when it's fixed energy of Taurus, for example, having Uranus there. So Uranus is going to be changing signs as well from Taurus. Later, I think it's June time this year. And then we're also going to be having, the energies will, of course, go back a bit as well. So we've just got to keep going is the essence here, is that just go with it, tune into your intuition, tune into your instincts. And both of those things are important. And if you've got lots of fire and water in your chart already, you'll understand what I'm talking about, in that you do have this knowing. You do have this instant knowing, and you don't know where it came from. It's instinctual. It's just there. And it comes in so incredibly fast. Intuition is a bit more subtle, but they're both valid. So work with that and take your time. Slow down the best you can in these sorts of energies. Don't rush into decisions. If you're not sure about something, perhaps it's a no. And I'll talk more about the energies as they come up. There's going to be a full moon in Taurus later on in the month, and I will talk about that as well. I'll perhaps pop on just to talk about that on its own. We've got Pluto opposing Mars soon as well. That's coming up. The energies are really starting to build there. And this will be the third and final one. We're 2 degrees off, so yeah, you're going to be feeling it. So Mars is in Leo at the moment, and Pluto is in Aquarius. Leo is much more about self-identification and differentiation. And Aquarius is, it's a similar thing in a way, but they're opposites, in that they see themselves as, the Aquarius are much more sort of, it's not about fitting in, but I think they'd probably like to, but it's about what's right for humanity. You know, that's the Aquarian type of energy. I mean, I'm talking very simplistic here, that it goes way deeper than that. But the Aquarius doesn't have the ego in it, whereas Leo does. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. We need our egos to survive, but this is a battle, in a way, of power, a power battle that's been going on. It happened in November. It happened, I think it happened in January as well. And then this is going to be the final one for another, it happens, I think it happens every 1.5 to 2 years. And so, you know, it's not like you will never have experienced it before. So Mars at this time is in Leo, and you would have experienced in Cancer, so that would have been much more defensive. This time it's a bit more bombastic and proud, and we've got to think, right, my ego wants this, what's best in the long run, what's best for the future, what's best for everyone concerned. It can show up in so many different ways. It really does depend on your natal chart as to what the wider area is for you. So you know, if it could be if it's in the first house, it could be to do with yourself and others. So it's going to be it's going to feel really personal. It's going to feel quite, you perhaps feel defensive about yourself and how you come across to others. So there could be a power struggle between you and other people. If it's if Mars is in the second house, then this could be about self-esteem and your values. It could be about financial difficulties and independence and resources. If it's in the third house, it could be to do with your having some battles about your ideas and how you want to communicate your ideas with others. Your local environment, within your local environment, power struggles there, with siblings even, your local community. In the fourth house, it would be your home life at home. It could be to do with ancestral wounds playing out. It could be to do with just home life in general. It could be to do, if it's in the fifth house, it could be to do with your romantic relationships. It could be how you express yourself, how you get your kicks, as it were, trying to get freedom. And it could be to do with your children. Sixth house could be to do with your daily routine somehow, your daily work, your health. Small pets can come into this as well. And yeah, it could be to do with battling for the routines, and maybe a degree of overworking has been happening. If it's the 7th house, it's again, it's the self and the other. Maybe you're battling for your own self in your one-to-one relationships. Could be to do with marital relationships, contracts. 8th house is to do with marriage, finance, shared resources. 9th house, that could be anything to do with foreign stuff, law, any legal matters that you might be dealing with. That could be the case there. 10th house, it could be to do with that's the parental axis as well. It's your ambitions and career, anything in the career and work life. The 11th can be to do with your aspirations, could be to do with your wider network, friends, community. And then finally the 12th house, that's the hidden areas. So there could be some things going on in the background that you're trying to fight for. Perhaps you're trying to sort something out in the background, or maybe there's some secrets that are going to be coming out. So that's a quick run through of the houses. I can put some notes in the comments of each rising sign and which house the energy of the Pluto-Mars opposition is falling for you. So I hope that's been helpful. I will see you again soon, and good luck with it. Bye for now.